Hey guys, it's Meridy here, and I am here today with the Keepin Cozy Page Kit by Not Just for Boys Kit Club. And before I start telling you how to put this layout together, I'm going to show you what you're going to get in your kit. So the first thing you're going to get is a pack of wooden embellishments from Not Just for Boys. There's 10 pieces in there with the reusable packaging on the back. And you're going to get a pack of Photo Play Winter Chalet ephemera, and it's 26 pieces, and it's very winter themed. Hot cocoa, stay cozy this season, let's stay home, cuddle weather. It's super cute with lots of wood grain that coordinates with this packaging. And next you're going to get the 49 and Market, let me say that again, 49 and Market Essentials film strips in the Mariner Blue. And what it is 11 pieces of acetate film strips, and they're all different sizes. Some of them are smaller and larger and longer and shorter, and you're gonna get 11 pieces in there total. And I really like the color of these. It's the Mariner color. And last, you are going to get one package of thickers. These are navy thickers. They're puffy thickers. There are 264 pieces in there. So there's a lot of thickers that can be used on lots of layouts, even after you make this page. The paper you're going to get is Photo Play Winter Chalet Stay Cozy, and it's plaid on one side and dark wood grain on the other. Again, matches really well with that. You're gonna get a piece of nickel textured cardstock by American Crafts, a piece of Echo Park, The Magic of Winter. It's called Blustery Branches. It has the branches on one side and this light blue plaid pattern on the other. You're gonna get a piece of Photo Play Winter Chalet Welcome Winter, and it's got little winter icons on one side and stripes on the other side. And then you're gonna get 2 sheets of white cardstock, smooth white cardstock, and that's going to serve as the base of your layout. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do after you make sure all your pieces are there and figure out where everything is cut. There's a piece of instructions that are going to come in your kit. It's front and back instructions, and on the back side there are cut guides, how you cut down all of these papers. So you're going to want to do that first, and I'm going to go do that, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I have my papers cut down, and as you may know from my other videos, instead of using real photos on my videos, I use papers to represent my photos. So these are the 5 photos that we're going to use on this layout. You've got 3 4x6s going portrait orientation, and 2 4x4.5s. So these were originally 4x6s, but I just trimmed 1.5 inches off the sides so that they're a little bit thinner. So they're 4x4.5. And actually, to make matting a lot easier on my pictures, I trimmed down 1/4 inch off of each side, off of 2 sides of each photo. So these are actually 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. It just makes it so much easier to mat them on a 4x6 mat when I trim 1/4 inch off of 2 sides, and you don't really lose anything on the picture. So we're gonna mat these first on this gray paper, and like I said, we're just gonna be able to cut the mats really easily. 4x6 inch mats. So we're gonna need 3 of these, and then we're gonna need a 4.5 by 4 inch, a couple 4.5 by 4 inch mats. So we'll do the 4.5 by 4 inch mats, and we're gonna need 2 of those. And the rest of this gray paper will just be scrap. So we'll put that up to the side. And then you can go ahead and adhere your photos right onto the mats. And it's so simple, since you've got these photos are slightly cropped down, smaller than the mat size. They just mat nicely like that. So I will go ahead and mat all of these, and I will be right back. Alrighty, I have all of my photos matted, and the next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and pull out the 2 white pieces of cardstock and the papers that you've cut, and we're gonna lay these out. We can kind of lay them out both together at the same time. The layout of this page is not very difficult. So we're gonna start, these two pieces of wood grain are the exact same length, so it doesn't matter which side they go on. But the other pieces, the shorter of the two is going to go on the right-hand side. So see, one is a little bit shorter. The shorter of the two goes on the right-hand side. Same with this one. The shorter of the two goes on the right-hand side. And we can go ahead and adhere these down just whenever they're not really going to move around a lot. Now, you may love the B sides of these papers so much better than the A sides. So you might want to put the B sides facing up when you're making this layout. That is completely up to you because they all coordinate so well that it doesn't really matter what side of the paper you have up. Okay, and then this one's gonna kind of overlap both of them. So what I would do, I would put this about 1 1/4 inches from the bottom and this one about 1 1/4 inches from the top. Approximately. I'm not measuring. Just about the same amount of space up here is what's down there is what I put on mine. And then I will use these to line up so I get them in the same spot from one page to the next. And then this one just goes right in the middle. And like I said, the setup of this page is fairly simple. And then we can start laying out the photos. And what I did here is I seem to keep the last photo and these two photos about the same distance from the bottom. And then these two in the middle, they're a little higher and a little lower, if that makes sense. It goes a little higher than these pictures, and down here it goes into the brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere these down because I know this is where we want them. And then after you get these adhered, I'm just putting adhesive in the middle of these photos because we're gonna be tucking and layering, especially with those acetate film strips. So I wanna be able to lift the bottoms of my pictures and slide things underneath it. So for now, I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive in the middle just so they're not constantly moving around. So let's grab the film strips because that's what's gonna come next. So when you get these film strips, I've already done this to mine because I did it to take pictures, but a lot of them have the little middle pieces still stuck in these, like these little insides are in them. So I just went through and popped them all out, you know, right away at the beginning. And see what I did here. I used this one that has 3 and I used it down here. And then I used another one with 3 pieces up here. Ooh, see, that's what I mean. That one's still popped in. And then I used this little guy that has 3 over here. I used a single one over here. And then this little guy that has 5, but I cut him off. So he only has, I cut off from the light end and I cut it off after the third one. Okay, I don't think I used this one at all. All right, so I'm just gonna tuck these up underneath. And they went really underneath there. I just want to get them in the right place and not adhere them down until I get more things on this layout. And I glued that picture down a little too much, but that's okay. Okie doke. And then I grabbed our ephemera pack. And these also were all, you have to punch them out of the pages. They're not all punched out for you already. But I've punched them out for the sake of this video. Let's see, hello snow. I didn't use that, I did use this. There's all kinds of cute ones in here. So if you don't want to use the same sayings that I did, you don't have to. Or if you want to make another layout with the leftovers, there's plenty of leftovers to do that with. Oh, this little guy. I actually used the inside of this frame and I used it in 2 pieces. I'm going to cut it. I used the top half up here and then the side I used over here. Ooh. And then I just tried to make all, but even out, you know, where I'm putting embellishments. I think that's it for these. And so it was kind of, you know, balanced and even. So now we've got these out, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out these little guys next. And I used a heart one down here, and like the circle snowflake one up there, and the more snowflakey shaped one down here. And you can use, again, whichever combination of these. You're gonna have 4 left over that you don't use in this layout, so you can use them, oh my word, come on other layouts. And actually, we are gonna use the packaging of this, so we'll save that. So we can add these in a minute. And so everything's approximately laid out where I want it, and I'm gonna go ahead and start adhering things down, starting with the very bottom layer, which is the acetate frame. And so for the acetate frames, to adhere them, oh, I'm gonna just move everything up off here. Oh my gosh. I just used adhesive down the back. You cannot see it, and you don't need a ton of it, but you cannot see it on there. So, oh, come on. Yeah, I just put a little adhesive, especially if you've got it underlapped under something, you won't be able to see the adhesive at all, but I do not think you can see it there either. And these little tiny holes in the film strips, like the holes where it goes on the tray, they're not really holes here, it's solid, so you can't even feel the adhesive through it, because these aren't actually obviously real film strips. So those holes are not open like they would be if it was real film. I hope that made sense. And then I just will start in the back and just keep building up every layer. And I did pop a few things up on dimensional adhesive here. I did not pop this up. Oh, the heart. It kind of got buried with my photos. Like it really started, like you couldn't see it good. It didn't pop. The colors, they were just blending a lot with my photos. So what I did there was I matted it first on a little piece of the wood grain scrap, because we've got lots of scraps. So you could mat it on anything. You could mat it on the light blue one, depending on what colors are in your photographs. But I took and matted it on the wood grain, and I just fussy cut out around that. And then the wood grain, so that made the heart color pop because it was such a contrasting color. But then I also wanted it to pop off my picture, and my picture had darker colors in the back or on it. So then I matted this a second time on a scrap of the gray paper that we use to mat our photos. So I double matted it, and let me show you. It's over here. I matted it on a piece of this that we use to put our gray photos on. And then it really popped on my layout. And it didn't take too long to just fussy cut the simple little heart shape. And then I did pop this heart up on foam tape before I put it down. So it does go up on foam tape right here. Just like this. And then this first tag down here, I adhered it flat to the page. Let's see, I want it to go around it there. And then this one I put up on foam tape. And for this video, I'm just putting 2 tiny pieces of foam tape on here. In reality, I would put another piece, you know, in the middle right there. But just trying to get it done relatively quickly for the video. Okay, and then I adhered these 3 with Eileen's tacky glue, because I feel like Eileen's tacky glue holds wood very quickly and nicely to my layouts. So that's what I used there. And then you can come back in with this packaging and put a little of these in here. I'm gonna put I love this kid, and these you could just fussy cut right from your packaging. I'll put I love this kid, and I'm not gonna adhere it down quite yet. I'll put pure joy on one of them. I might put pure joy on that side, and I love this kid over here. Okay. Next we've got our title. So that's why I'm not putting this down yet, because I'm going to lay out the title before I decide where exactly to put that. So our title can go right in here, and it can overlap your picture if you want, or if you don't want it overlapping your picture, you would put it more over here. You could also put a title across here, or even across the top, even across this way of the top. But I'm just going to put it right here, and I'm going to be really, really unique, guys, and I'm just gonna put Snow Day Fun on this one. And I'm gonna use these little things to line up where I want it. They're just little tiny rulers that they're like flexible, and they help me with my titles, almost like a thicker alignment guide, but they're smaller and I have a bunch of them because I love the thicker alignments guide, but I already bought 2 packs of those so I can have multiple line titles, and I still felt like I was needing, you know, another line. So I bought these little things. I have 4 of them. I know they're not all right here, the other one's over there, but I really like these. Snow. And that way I could put every single word on its own little ruler plastic piece and move them around. Another thing that works just like this is putting your title on pieces of wax paper. So that way you can move it around. Snow Day Fun. But I found that I like moving my title around in different configurations quite a few times before I pick what I like best. So that's why these work for me. Snow Day Fun. Okay, let me move this out of the way. And I like it stacked on top of each other. Snow Day Fun, and I like it up at the top. So I will go ahead and put these letters down right here. I could put my little Pure Joy. I think I like my Pure Joy right on top of there. I do not like the way this word fun looks. I should have used my tweezers to lay out these letters. Okay, and I like the Pure Joy up there, so I will go ahead and put that as part of my subtitle, kind of. Okay, now we can move to the second half of the layout. I'm gonna move this side while I'm working on the second half, so it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. And again, I'm gonna just start with the bottom layer, which is this film strip, and put a little adhesive on it and start tucking and layering. This time I left the lighter side. See how this side is lighter and this side is darker? I wanted it to pop against this dark brown, so I left the lighter side in the brown area. Put that too far. Oh my word. There we go. And then I'll just get these. And this little guy. And you don't need a ton of adhesive on these to make them stick pretty good. That went over a little bit. Okay, and then I've got my little flag sticking out right there, and the ticket that says Burr, but again, you could use any of the embellishments that coordinate with your layout, because there was I think there was 26 different pieces or something in that set. And then I am gonna fussy cut just the snowflake out of this, just because I like this snowflake shape better than the square shape. And it's really quick to fussy cut this. I'm doing it super messy, not super fine detail. And it's just gonna sit in here. I am gonna pop up the word Hello Snow on foam tape, and I want to tuck this Magic of Winter sticking out of the Hello Snow. So I want it sticking out about there, and then I want this snowflake sticking out from underneath the Magic of Winter. Like that, and then I'll put foam tape here. And then I wanted to add some more details to this layout. I wanted to add some stitching, and you can either add real stitching or add faux stitching, like drawing it on there, or if you have a stamp that looks like stitching, you could stamp it on there. So I think I'm going to draw dotted lines for this video. On my other picture of this layout that's on the website, I machine stitched in various places. So, you know, you could do, I don't know that everyone has a sewing machine, or you could hand stitch if you wanted. But for this layout, for this video, I'm going to draw stitches with a thin black pen. And then I'm gonna put I love this kid right here. Actually, take it back. I'm gonna put the date, the year, up here. So I'm gonna say 2022. Or you could put any subtitle up here in this area, but I'm just gonna put the date for this video. 2022. I guess in this case, you could even put 2023, because we're already in 2023. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put I love this kid right like that. Okay, so now for the stitching. If you have a white pen, you could completely do it across this dark wood. I'm going to use a dark pen, and I'm gonna faux stitch on other areas. So I'm just gonna do teeny, teeny, teeny dotted lines. I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch this whole entire process, because these dotted lines take quite a while, and I'm actually gonna turn my paper to make it a little easier. But I'm gonna go around all of this light blue. And if you wanted, you could go around the white around your layout if you wanted, because you know it's kind of hard to see it on this light blue. If you had a stamp that was like a cross stitch shape stitch, like the X, you could easily stamp it to go over the edge where the paper meets. Do you know what I mean? I think when I do my machine stitching on the other layout, I'm probably going to use a zigzag stitch, so it zigzags over the seam. And you'll see that in the pictures that are on the website, on the listing. You can find that listing in the link of this video. So you could, even if it's all sold out, the pictures will still be up there, how I machine stitched on this layout. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? If you're not a part of our Facebook community group right now, Not Just for Boys Kit Club community group on Facebook, we would love for you to join us there. Our design team will make layouts with this kit that are unique to this one. They won't be following my instructions. It will be whatever they were inspired to do, just to show you different ways how to use this kit. And you can also share, if you make a layout with this kit, you can share that on our design team community, on our Facebook community group page. We would love to see that. What else do we have over there? We've got lots of layout sharing going on, and we get sneak peeks and just information about upcoming things over there. So I'm gonna finish all of this faux stitching, not on camera, like I said. I got kind of a lot done here, but I'm going to stitch all the way around the whole layout. I might even add in some stitches in this white part because you can hardly see the little stitches that I added right now. So I'm going to finish stitching and maybe add some more stitches. You'll be able to see that in the close-up pictures that are at the end of this video and in the pictures that are on your instruction sheet. But thank you guys for watching and happy 2023. We'll see you later. Bye. Okay guys, so after all, I did decide to come back in with a silver paint marker and do silver stitching across this dark spot to kind of tie it together. But as you can see, I did the stitching on the edges and around this paper and across the bottom. So now I will put still shots up of this layout. And thank you for watching. Bye.